Welcome to episode 312 of In Touch with iOS, the show that talks about iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, Apple TV, and related technologies. Your host, Dave Ginsburg, and Jill McKinley is back on the show. How you doing, Jill?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here and see all of you.
Yeah, I'm going to be seeing you in 2 weeks. I can't believe
2 weeks.
it. 2 weeks. 2 weeks from as we record. It's going to be great to see you. And also here's Ben Roethig. How you doing, Ben?
I am doing fantastic. Ready to talk some Mac, especially some beta 2 of iOS 18.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff in the notes for talking about that. I found all kinds of things that's been talked about. Marty Jencius is here. How you doing, Marty?
I'm doing good. You know, this Thursday nights are great for me because it's the end of my work week. And so it's a great pleasure to be with this group talking about something I love about.
Absolutely. And last but certainly not least, Jeff Gamet is here. How you doing, Jeff?
Well, this all just sucks. Kidding. I'm doing well. I'm happy to be here with all of you.
Yes.
And for everyone that is going to be at MacStock in a couple weeks, I'm so excited to see everyone.
Me too. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Meanwhile, as Ben mentioned, there is so much stuff that was talked about this past week. Beta, we'll be just talking about some of the stuff we're going to be looking forward to in iOS 18, iPadOS 18 and such. And a number of other stories. And Jeff and I are going to have a good conversation here about the message contact key verification, which you and I both discovered here. And we're going to get a little insights on that. And, all the stuff we usually talk about and anything else we might even come up with here. But like I said, let's go right into the topics. Beta this week, iOS 18 Beta 2 was dropped this week. And also they're still beta testing iOS 17.6. That's the production version of iOS and the ones that most of you should be on, not beta. But there is a lot of things that have been changed. AI is still not going to be on here just yet. And then we'll hit on that a little bit. And I think AI is going to be down the road here a bit. What's your first impressions on this, Ben, that you're running it?
It still can be a little bit unstable, especially with the 140 gigabyte metadata file. I had to delete to get my hard drive back. Thank you, Clean My Mac. But if you're having that on the other betas, versions of the beta, you're out of luck right now. But iPhone mirroring is one of the biggest updates to the ecosystem I have seen. In fact, I'm using it right now.
Yeah, I couldn't get it to work on my Mac, but I might have to I might need to erase it and reconfigure my beta Mac just to get that up and running because it was saying it couldn't find it. So we'll hit on that. We'll hit on that in just a minute here. But Marty, you're running beta too, I know.
I'm running the beta and had the same problem that Ben had, and again,
system data.
Yeah, just clearing all that stuff out, being able to then get back and using my device. You know, the thing about the beta updates that if you read the articles and the ones that you've posted, they tell you about all the wonderful things that are coming to the beta. They don't tell you what this beta 2 version really has on it. Yeah. And since I've got a developer account, I can go and see what the notes are that our developers, and I don't understand half of them, but it's not all the new and exciting things that the articles talk about happening. There are little changes, fixes, some new things that they launch on it, but the articles kind of oversell it. You know, they passed the announcement that the beta came out. There isn't a lot in the articles that say what actually is happening now because of the beta.
Right.
So it could be a little misleading. Yeah.
Go for it, Jeff.
My hypothesis, as someone who used to cover all of this regularly, a lot of the people that are writing about the updates do not have developer accounts. So they're just writing based on press releases and flashy comments. And I'm not saying that in a mean way. It's just you work with the resources that are available to you. and you can tell who has a developer account as blogger, and actually goes and reads what's in the update notes from there. So that's why we're seeing these articles. I don't want to call them fluff articles because they are at least letting people know that the update is out, but they're not providing that deep, meaningful information like you were looking for.
Yeah. Jill, have you dabbled in beta, or have you been avoiding it?
I am planning on doing it like July 14th. I've been tied up a little bit since then, but I plan on it. But I'm keeping tabs on it. I mean, this is really the primary reason why I moved to Mac. I get updates on my Windows machine, and it's like, oh, look, we moved this to yellow. And I'm like, great. I waited 11 years for this to be moved, So this is exciting to me. I am all over the betas and what they're doing. But so far, the things I'm most interested in, which is, of course, AI, has not yet been released. And that's the part I really want to see the most.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be down the road. It might even be 2025 before we have all of the features. But we just talked about iPhone mirroring. So yeah, it's I'm really anxious to get that to get working. I may have to erase my Mac, my Mac Mini that has the beta on it, and just get a refresh. I haven't done that in a while on that one, and for some reason it's not. I got it signed into the same account, but it just doesn't want to find it with my beta iPhone. So the other thing I was going to talk about, and you brought that up, Ben, a number of times here, is the system data bug that was like, I was perplexed. We got the article here in the show notes from 9to5Mac here. It says, so the iOS system data bug is stealing your iPhone storage. Yeah, no kidding. I went to go try to do it, my beta 2 update. Oh, sorry, you have no space. I'm like, what are you talking about? My iPhone's got 128 gigs of space. Sure enough, 104 of that was system data. And interestingly enough, I mean, they just updated this article within the last couple of days, and this has been going all over on Reddit and the community forums on Apple. I did the first thing. The first step was try powering it off. That's what I did. I powered it off, and then I went back, and then all of a sudden, poof! I've got space left. That's the most interesting bug I've seen since all the years I've been doing beta testing. Did you experience the same thing, Ben?
I went through the entire checklist.
Yep.
Had no effect. I eventually went in to find my Mac, looked at the large files. Sure enough, there was a 140 some odd gigabyte metadata file. I deleted it like an idiot. Fortunately, nothing. It hasn't had any operational effect on the Mac. So, but if you're on iOS or iPadOS, you of course do not have access to those files.
Yeah. Because the iPad I have.
That's primarily keeping me off the betas is trying to spend time to make room for the files I keep writing about.
This is why I routinely say that I am an idiot. Do not do this.
Yeah, don't do it on your primary mission critical device. That's why I'm not doing that anymore. I have the luxury of having this iPhone 13. I've been using the iPhone 13 Pro, and like I said, wow, where's the space? And same thing's happening on my iPad Pro 12.9 2018 model. All the space is gone again. And I tried the power on off, and at least the iPhone got freed up. So I'm going to spend some time looking at the iPad too to see why this is. But also talking about clearing your iMessage history. So these are actually, we talk about these things. It's actually something you probably should consider doing anyway, because a lot of times this stuff does take up a lot of space and makes things go somewhat slower, especially if you have an older device. Clearing your Safari cache was another suggestion. And there was some date trick that a Reddit user had a suggestion that seemed to work reliably by purging the iOS system data. So, but like I said, step one was just do a simple power down. I didn't do a hard reset. I just did the power down and then powered it back up. And it seemed to clear it up, which is very, very strange. Go ahead, Jeff.
Dave, it's temporary.
No, I know.
And
we'll fix it.
I'm saying it out loud just for the people that don't know. Yeah, doing the power cycle thing, it cleared part of that system data off of my iPad, but it very quickly came back. These other suggestions they're offering, which is good just in general, but if you clear out Safari cache and your iMessage history and all of that, excuse me, you get some space back, but this is a bug. And
for sure.
the bug just consumes the available storage. So it will balloon up to fill that space that you just cleared out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. How about you, Marty? Did you experience this on your iPhone?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did. And the powering off and powering on resolved the problem for me. I also had been receiving some of the same bug on my desktop, which I had not updated. So I don't know where that came from, but a lot of that got dumped into my desktop. Also used Clean My Mac, and that took care of all the issues with it.
On the Mac.
On the Mac. I'm waiting for iOS 18 beta 3, so we'll have new things to complain about.
That's right. Yeah, for sure.
They'll fix this for 3.
Yeah. My thought too with 3 that I would join in.
Yeah, I mean, that's generally what people will end up doing is just waiting a bit and to let a couple betas come out and try it. The RCS toggle is on, and that was enabled in beta 2 as they announced this during WWDC. The new RCS messaging protocol that will replace SMS and MMS, but RCS is still not functional just yet. It's just a toggle that shows it up for the US and iPhone users that have a carrier that's supporting it, which would be T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T. Have you looked at that all, Ben, with that? Because I know they were looking at that.
I have looked at it. Here's the interesting thing on it.
Mm-hmm.
With a brand new contact, I am able to send RCS messages. For existing contacts, especially with those that I know are on Samsungs, it still says SMS.
Okay.
So there has been talk that maybe it only works with those using the Google messaging app for RCS, but I can't confirm that.
Yeah. I don't. There's also an article here talking about the U.S. carriers are now starting to enable RCS for iPhone on beta 2. So something to take a look at to see if that happens and if it works for you. So other things that we're already had been talked about is the home screen, the App Store icon, and the home screen have now a dark mode. We talked about all that, so there are going to be some new changes. I'm not going to review that, but it is because we've talked about it a couple of times now. Yeah, it's exciting just for that to be able to have some more customizations and colors. I know it's been a long time coming, and I'm so glad we will have this on there. As well as widgets goes, the new connected card wallet widget app does not appear it's as functional yet, but that's going to be available and integrate with the wallet app to display total card balance and transaction histories in the United States. And actually, it's actually working with the Discover card this time, it looks like. So, and we talked about the other stuff, the control center and the EU app, of course, the EU app's ecosystem changes, all kinds of discussions about that. So it's definitely a lot of changes, and we'll keep talking about this here. So a couple other notable things I that caught my eye too is iCloud. iCloud's keeps the downloaded option included in iOS 18 and on macOS Sequoia. Apple has added a new keep downloaded option, and when you're browsing items in iCloud, allowing users to designate which files and folders should remain permanently available on their local device. That's a long time coming. I think that's nice, and you want to keep a specific folder that's there. And this is something that's makes it a little more efficient because a lot of times going into files into iCloud just trying to find stuff. You want to have a folder that sets permanent. It might be something that you're working with all the time, whether it's iOS or iPadOS for that matter. Have you guys used this at all? I mean, as far as files goes, you find that to be frustrating when you don't have a way to pin this like you're going to be able to here on beta?
Yeah, absolutely. I sat in the dark during our tornado warning for 3.5 hours wanting to have my files that I couldn't get access to because they were all on iCloud. So, yes.
How about you, Marty?
I found this on Sequoia as I loaded the beta on there. And after loading the beta, all the files that I had on my desktop got changed to undownloaded folders, or I should say all the folders on my desktop. So I had to re-download those folders that I wanted. So I don't know if it's part of the beta upgrade that forced that, but it was just a little glitch that I saw in the process.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, it's something that's really interesting to see where that goes. I think it's definitely going to be a nice advantage being able to browse your iCloud. The other thing I want to talk about is AirPods. They are bringing 5 of these new features to the AirPods. So the first one was head gestures, where you can allow users to control AirPods hands-free without even saying a word. You can nod your head or up and down or shake it left and right in order to answer or decline a call, which I think is pretty cool. S-Ladies interactions will also allow you to answer or dismiss calls, interact with messages, manage notifications without even speaking. It does have voice isolation that's going to be available here, so it gives you the voice to be clear when you're speaking to somebody. That's huge, because we always complain, like we want to use our AirPods, especially when we're on Zoom, or want to use it for that. I know this is going to be a great thing on iOS. I wish they would get that in macOS too, because a lot of times this mic doesn't sound very, very good. And I think Jeff and many of you can attest to that with AirPods, right?
Yeah.
So they also added personalized spatial audio for gaming. So what it's going to do is dynamic head tracking will be available for the gaming across the AirPods, third gen, and the Pro, and the Max, and the Pro 2, of course. And when you're using your AirPods Pro, gamers will now have the best wireless audio latency that's ever delivered for mobile gaming. It will also enjoy improved voice quality, included 16-bit and 48 kilohertz audio when chatting with teammates. So they're enhancing that with gaming. That looks like some serious stuff Apple doing with gaming here now. And the granular adaptive audio control in the second gen AirPods Pro. And what that'll do is adjust sounds and active noise cancellation in response to changes in your environment. Right now, the adaptive audio is just an all or nothing setting, and the iOS 18 is going to change it to a customized audio, adaptive audio, which is nice. Jen, any comments on that?
I noticed that there was also a firmware upgrade for the iPods, and so I played around with that today, trying to see if I could generate and I'm still on the old version of the firmware. I haven't checked it in a while, but I have kept my iPods plugged in, which it says it needs to be plugged in for the firmware to update.
Yep.
Again, yep. I haven't I haven't had a chance to experience these yet on the beta. Okay. So I don't know if they are actually out or what portion of them are out from the 5 things that they're talking about in the article.
Right. Yeah, it's still pretty new, so it's definitely going to be different. We'll find out as things go here. That's why it's beta, and then not everything is going to be ready for you right off the bat here. Talk about the podcast app a little bit. They're now going to show chapter segments when you're scrubbing. In iOS 18, that's awesome, and Ben is cheering here. That it'll now show chapter segments of a podcast when you scrub through a current playing episode, making it easier to browse through the audio content. That was always a nuisance. This was spotted actually by a Redditor, they called him, and navigating the timeline across the chapter segments showed the chapter name above the line. So this is exciting. I mean, everybody has a love-hate relationship with Apple Podcasts, but I think this looks like they're doing some more enhancements. You got excited about that, Ben?
Yeah. I mean, it makes stuff easier to find, especially if somehow things get reset. It's just one of those things that I think's been available in other apps for a while, and they're finally making the Apple Podcast app more feature filled.
Yeah, that's really important. They're finally doing that. You guys use the podcast app at all? Did anything that excites you?
I'm glad to see they're doing it. I remember when I think they disallowed other podcast apps from being in the store because they already have one and it's perfect, and it wasn't perfect. And I'm glad to see them really upping the game, because I might go back if it gets there. But right now I'm using Overcast. But if it keeps going the direction it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's definitely going to be something to contend with it, because like I said, some people are not too overly excited about Apple Podcasts, but some are. So this is good. Go ahead.
I can't say overly excited about Apple Podcasts. It is the podcast client that I use the most, even though I've played around and, with Overcast and all the other podcast apps that are out there, because I'm curious. This is advancing sort of at the speed that works for me. So they added in transcription, which I thought was incredible and very good from an educational standpoint. I get requests for transcriptions of my podcasts because institutions can't put them on unless they have accessibility features. So the transcription piece is really good. And now this scrubbing, I like that idea. It's not as advanced as some of the other podcast apps, but it's moving along at my speed. So I haven't, I go and I make an attempt at some other podcast clients, particularly when I'm traveling or going in the car with, on long car trips. But I come back to the Apple Podcasts app because of my familiarity with it.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk a little bit about the Journal app. Do anybody here use the Apple's Journal app at all? Have they tried it?
Maybe if it was on a platform where it made sense for journaling, sure, but no.
Tell us what you really think. And that's a good question. Okay, go ahead.
I do use it. I'm trying to, because I just found journaling so cumbersome, and somehow having it on my iPhone where it says, hey, you were at this restaurant last week, or you did this or you did that, and reminding me. I like it. I'm excited to see more features come, because I think that's, it's just a very thin journal app, but I like where it's going again, and I'm hoping it gets more features.
It looks like it's going to, including expanding the rich text formatting, which is nice. You'll be able to do some more rich text. I want to try it more. I mean, I'm a big Apple Notes user, so I'm sure all of us here are, or some of us, or most of us. It does audio transcripts, so you can actually view transcripts of a recorded audio, right, or from within journaling. So if you record something, the search and sort tools are going to be available as well. More advanced for photos, videos, music, and podcasts, activity places, and then only text. Then widgets for your home screen and the lock screen, including audio recordings and photos, which is nice. So yeah, they've done some good enhancements on this tool, and like I said, not all of us use it, and I don't think it's got a lot of traction. You don't hear a lot of people talk about, just like Jeff's experience. He doesn't think it's something that's going to be fit in his journaling needs. So.
Yeah, I get that I'm just a little prima donna.
Yeah.
But you're not wrong. The iPad's the perfect place for it, and other places are the perfect place for it, and it just needs to be other places.
Yeah, for me, journaling, even with the automated parts that come with this app, it's something where I want to have my full keyboard.
Right.
So
right.
I can really write, and that's not. Excuse me, that's not how the iPhone journaling app is really set up.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I have big fat fingers, and I need a big fat keyboard. And so journaling on an iPhone, even on an iPad, I think, with the keyboard more so, but I just can't do it on iOS.
Yeah, as I said, interestingly, it hasn't come. They haven't brought it to the iPad just yet, which I'm surprised. I think. I might need to happen.
I'm not surprised. I mean, we still don't have the classical music app
integrated. I forgot about that.
Well, it's on iPhone and iPad now, but it's still not on Mac.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's where my DAC is, where I want to have the best audio quality. Anyhow,
there you go.
I'm just kind of ranty. Sorry about that.
No, Apple's doctrine of taking the platform or something that makes the most sense and forgetting about it.
That's so Apple.
Yeah.
I have a diary app, and I know it's stealing my data left and right, because it does the same thing. It says, oh, you were here, you were there. And I'm moving out of that and moving into this one because I feel like Apple's not stealing my data. But it was nice because I went to some field in the middle of nowhere, and it says, do you want to recollect about your time in this field? And I was like, Yes, I do. That's awesome because it knew where I was and it knew more about me. So, and I think AI, I'm hoping it's going to even make it better. So
That's not a feature. That's people actually spying on you, Jill.
right. Okay.
Following you around.
Yeah.
Be glad it wasn't the field where you were burying the body.
Well, it was. It totally was. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
And I bird watched afterwards, so it's fine.
okay. Well,
Yes, for the right price, we will not tell the cops.
The interesting thing that was caught here is iOS 18 the Passwords app can't import passwords, but macOS can. So the new password app does come with every password ever saved in Safari, but only only macOS Sequoia version can import new ones from a third-party app. Apple made a point of saying that it spent 25 years working on securing passwords for users, but still users of its new Passwords app may be surprised of this result. And passwords do not open without any password. For passwords that does not open without any passwords, it instead has everything ever saved in Safari, which can be hundreds, if not thousands, of login passwords. It contains Wi-Fi login passwords, which you can go back for years of places. Probably have routers in there you haven't even had in years. So it's kind of a shame. So that just kind of tells me that this is a bit of a work in progress. So what do you think on this, Jeff? This is something
it's totally a work in progress, and that's okay.
Yeah.
This is not an app that is targeting replacing tools like 1Password.
Right.
This is Apple doing one of the things that they do really well, which is give people a better tool. But if they need more than what that tool does, that's a third-party opportunity.
Yeah.
And we've seen that with all kinds of tools across Mac OS and iOS. So the fact that right now we have this limited password import support, it's only on one platform, and there's other limitations people are encountering, that's okay.
Yeah.
And as this matures, sure, some people are going to move to this in lieu of paying for subscription for 1Password or one of the other password managers. It's okay.
Yeah. Apple also, this was found too, that iOS 18 will actually warn you when you're using a slow iPhone charger. It does include a couple notable changes in the iPhone battery health and charging settings. It added more charging limit settings for iOS 15 users, along with information about when you're using a slow charger. In the settings app, and for iOS 18, the iPhone 15 users will see several options that sets a charging limit to the charging section of the battery menu. Previously, Apple let you set it to 80% charging limits, but Apple now has added more granular options to set it to 85, 90, 95%. At your choice now. But it also includes a new feature that will tell you if you're using a slow charger to recharge your iPhone in the settings app, and choose the battery menu and look at the battery level graph. It'll actually actively charge with a slow charger, but it's going to give you a warning that it's going to be really slow. It's just kind of cool. Ben, what do you think of this?
I love it. It helps people not only save their battery life, but tailor it to their own requirements.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're someone that is out in the field for longer, you might have to go up to 90, 95% charge. If you're someone who, doesn't use the whole battery in the day, 80% might be fine. It's just, like I said, it tailors to the user.
Yep. How about you, Jeff?
What Ben said. Yeah, giving people that control is good. The thing with giving you the warning when you're using a slow charger, that's great. And while I'm saying it's great, I'm also thinking, shame on you, Apple. You should have included this feature in iOS already when you switched the Lightning port to a USB-C port, because most people don't know if they have a high-speed or slow-speed charger, and then they complain when it doesn't seem like their phone is charging. And it's just that they didn't have a high-speed charger. So this should have been a thing that was there already.
Yeah.
But overall, good.
Okay. How about you, Marty?
I'm on an annual upgrade with my iPhone, so I abuse the hell out of the battery. I have MagSafe chargers all over the house, at my office. The only place I don't have one is in my car, but I have a USB. So mine is always the tank is always topped off on mine, which is, okay, lecture me on battery health, but it's going to be somebody else's problem 365 days from now. And so, yeah, I don't think too much about battery. It's only when I go to conferences, MacStock, you might see that I have a MagSafe pack on the back of it because I'll probably be using it more in those kind of situations. But generally, I don't think or worry about power much.
Do you, Jill, think about power?
When I'm traveling, for sure, because I got frustrated because I need my phone to be fully charged because I'm going to be out all day long. I'm not going to have access to anything, and I need you to go all the way to the top. I need you to go higher. So I'm excited about that, but I don't need the low power anymore because the last time I was on this podcast, you talked about a sale on some really great high power chargers, and I replaced all my chargers. So
Nice.
they're in the past. But yes, I do. I am excited about this because I do need my battery at times, not all the time, charged up.
Excellent. All right. Let's move to the next topic here. And Jeff and I were talking about this the other day about this contact key verification. What that is it's a secure feature in iMessage that allows users to verify the identity of the person they're messaging with. Essentially, it adds an extra layer of encryption on top of the existing iMessage encryption. Think of it it's like a digital handshake. You can contact and exchange unique codes to confirm you're really talking to each other, and it's not an imposter. And Jeff, what triggered you to take a look at this? Because I completely forgot about this. Apple didn't talk about it too much, but I checked out on I googled it and looked on YouTube. There's a lot of people did some videos on them, but yeah, this is a pretty nifty feature.
It's a cool feature, and the way I keyed in on it is absolutely horrible because Apple failed in this respect. What happened was I was in a conversation with someone, and they had sent me a couple of screenshots, and I didn't want to scroll through my entire list of messages to go back and find them. So I tapped on the info thing for the conversation with that person so I could see the group of all the images they had ever sent me. And I scrolled a little too far, and I see the thing about doing the contact key verification for that person. I'm like, oh, I forgot all about this thing. And so that's what set me down that path, which is ultimately why I reached out to you, because I figured you would be game to walk through the whole thing with me, and that was awesome.
Marty, have you tried this feature at all? Have you got anybody in your message context like this using this?
No, no, not that I'm aware of. I mean, this show is the first opportunity I've heard to hear about this. So
yeah,
this is going to be what I'm going to play with next.
So what you have to do to get it to work right initially, after I enabled it, was power cycle my phone.
Yep, same here.
But when I turned it on my phone, it was instantly active on all my devices, including my iPad mini that's running iOS 18 beta or iPadOS 18 beta. And the only true problem I had with it was a user error. But I mean, it was easy to set up. It was easy to do. When Dave and I did it. So the way it works is once you've turned it on, go back into the conversation with that person, and they need to have it turned on as well. They need to be in the conversation. They need to be looking at the info section for the conversation, just like you. Then you can tap the thing for verify contact key, and then there'll be this code that appears. And so now the other person can verify, yes, this is the code that I'm seeing. And then you can tap the little button that says it's been verified. Now, what I would recommend that you do, if you want to be super safe and secure with this, so you really know it's that person, either be on the phone with them while you do this or be in person and do it while you're together. And that way you're eliminating the possibility that someone else has taken the phone and they're just telling you they're that person, and so you verified them, and now this rogue government from somewhere in the world is ruining your life.
Yeah, and you've just taught me how to handle all my illegal activities to make sure that it's only I'm not talking to the cops.
I've got your back.
Have you tried this? Have you seen this, Jill, at all?
No, but I've been reading about it. I used to be a web security person for a company. And so I was reading up about this because I think Apple is consistently ahead of the game on trying to keep people away from impersonating, spoofing. And so I'm glad to see it. And I'm glad it worked for you guys.
I'm betting a lot of us will be setting this up with each other at Mac Stock just because we're all together.
Yeah, because we just talked about it.
Right.
A way to get to it, and I've got a link to the support article actually from Apple, which is really written well. It gives you a lot of direction on how to work with this. You go into the settings app under system settings, or I'm sorry, the settings app, system tabs, and you can do this on the Mac as well. Then you select your name, and then you scroll down at the very bottom, and there's going to be a choice down there called contact key verification. And once you go in there, you're gonna get your public key, and you have to get that key sent over to the person that you want to make secure. And we went through this, and there's ways of doing it manually as well. And there's you can share your public verification code with somebody, and then you can add it. And then it's kind of like what X does when they have remember the big thing about you're verified. Well, yeah, if Jeff and I look at each other's name at the top, we got the little check mark next to our names now because we're now verified.
Yeah, the difference is we didn't have to pay for this, and it's
not
an
we didn't.
identity move.
We didn't. Ben, have you tried this too?
I have it on, but I haven't tried it.
Okay. Like I said, we got some exercise here between all of us. We're going to do it
now. Let's just right now.
Live here.
Doing it live.
And there's places where you can check the verification status in the conversation details. But check the support article here. This is going to really give a good idea of here going through these steps and getting it done. I am not going to do it live because we got to keep a show going here.
Yeah, keep the show going, and okay. So now, Ben, I'm in our chat. I'm going to go into. There we go. So verify contact. So if you're in the info for our chat, when I tap verify contact, and it didn't work, I don't think you were in yet.
This is making for fabulous.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah, I was going to say, I probably need to move on here.
Yeah,
we can try later.
Show. Yeah, we'll all do it. Also, I wanted to touch a little bit about macOS Sequoia Beta 2. As we talked about it did enable iPhone mirroring support. I can't wait to try it. And Ben, why don't you give us a little more background on what your experience was so far with iPhone mirroring? I said you're doing it right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, literally, I have the iMessages app on my phone open. It works 90% of the way, but there is one major bug so far.
Okay.
It doesn't pick up input from the space bar on your keyboard.
Ooh, that could be a problem.
Yeah.
That's an issue.
Yeah. But once that is fixed and is out of beta and available for the people who are not dumb,
yeah,
this is going to be a game changer feature.
Yeah. Marty, did you try it too?
No, I haven't tried it. My work computer that I'm on right now, I don't have set up with Sequoia yet. So I'll have to try it on one of my laptops.
Okay. And Jill, I know you don't dabble in this in Mac beta just yet, right?
The Mac betas are okay because you can set up the second machine, right?
That's true.
That won't affect your main machine. And so I will try it. I just, because of this little conference coming up, I've been a little tied up, but I will try it after the conference.
This little conference, yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But yeah, I will do it.
But something that I got really excited about this feature when it was announced. I was like, this is awesome. We're going to be able to do a full control, and then doing presentations is going to make it so much easier too, because you're going to have full control of your iPhone and be able to demo it. So but this is just amazing. We did touch about this a little bit earlier, but I'm going to talk about it. I want to mention it again here. Is about the AirPods. The AirPods and the Beats firmware upgrades did address some important security issue, which is unusual because usually when there are AirPods updates, they say we don't know what's being updated, and you just got to do it. So they did. They offer still few details of what was available, but there was a separate support document outlining a security fix that added firmware updates to the AirPods, AirPods Pro, AirPods Max, the Power Beats Pro, and the Beats Fit Pro. It's saying a security issue that could have allowed an attacker with Bluetooth range to spoof the details of the device you're previously connected your headphones to, allowing the attacker to gain access to your headphones. Are they going to be able to do much with that? That's what I'm curious.
I'm guessing that's step one to taking more control over your device.
Yeah.
So using the AirPods as a weak point to get into your iPhone or iPad.
Or you could just mess with somebody's head while they're listening to. You could bring in your own voice of God.
This is the old man in the middle attack, wasn't it? That was announced with Bluetooth ages ago, or is this a different? I think it's the same.
This might be the same
attack. Yeah.
I thought this was different, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah. But messing with someone is for sure, or listening to a call. Maybe you're not supposed to hear.
Yeah. It's interesting because I said Apple doesn't tend to announce much of that when it comes to AirPods updates, other than to say, it'll eventually get updated. I was like, okay. Apple did release a new Beats Pill Bluetooth speaker. It's making a comeback. It was with improved sound, water resistance, and it does have a lower price tag. This was launched back in 2012. I mean, before Apple even acquired Beats. And the Beats Pill shook up the portable Bluetooth speaker category with fun colors, well-regarded sound quality. Speaker got an upgrade in 2015, the launch of the Pill Plus under Apple's ownership, and over time it appeared to have become an afterthought for Beats compared to the headphones and earphones, and the Pill Plus was eventually discontinued back in 2022. But after several months of teasing, they officially announced the return of the Beats Pill today with a host of upgrades and a lower price point, $149.99. The new pill features a completely redesigned speaker system consisting of a single tweeter and a single a racetrack woofer and a removable lanyard with USB-C, which is good, and Bluetooth, and 24 hours of battery life. And it's also water resistant to IP67. Comes in some different colors. I know, Ben, you're a big Beats fan. You got a Beats earbuds. What do you think of this?
I had too many expectations for this product.
Nope.
I mean, what it is exactly what it advertised: a upgraded Bluetooth speaker, an updated version of the original Pill with better features and all that jazz. What I was hoping for, essentially a Beats branded competitor to the Roam 2, which this is not. It's very good for what it is. I mean, you have all the features that are in modern Beats headphones. You have the ability to do either kind of that louder mode or stereo mode. So it's a definite upgrade if you're still holding on to a Beats or a Pill or Pill Plus. If you were waiting for Beats to finally come around on that AirPlay 2 promise that Apple made how many years ago, this ain't it.
Yeah.
Seriously. Wow.
It's a huge loss.
What do you think, Jeff?
I was thinking, this seems like a nice thing to bring back in the product line. But if it doesn't even do AirPlay 2 yet, maybe Apple should contact the company that makes AirPlay 2 to get engineering support to add this to their product.
Yeah. I mean, come on, Apple. What's the deal with this? How about you, Marty?
But it's got a new lanyard.
That is important.
Okay, there is that.
That is important. Jill, do you have any these kind of speakers that you use?
I got myself involved in the Sonos world, and over the course of, luckily before they got too terribly expensive, way back in the day. But first of all, I want to banish all outdoor speakers because they bring them to my little prairies that I go hiking in, and they're all listening to everything out loud. So I will banish all out loud speakers. But these have all gotten so expensive that it is kind of nice to see something come in at a lower price point for some people who I want to beat up at the campground. So I think this is a good idea.
Yes, beat them up, take their pill.
I'm going to take their pill. So,
yeah, check it out. It's going to be a little competitor. I bet Apple will sell a ton of them because just the price point alone makes a difference.
I think it's for a market that I'm not part of. I think it's a younger generation market.
Most of us, they see it's affordable. It's like, this is a nice little thing I can take it on the go.
Those are the ones that want to carry their music out to where Jill is so she can beat them up.
Yeah. Oh, people buy those JBL portable speakers that are out there, and some number of others. I think that's the class of what this speaker is. So,
hi, can you turn that down? I'm 7 miles away and I can hear your music. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
No.
Can you speak louder? I can't hear you over my music.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I'm going up to 11. In fact, where's that punk rock song from Star Trek 4?
There are other ways to make social commentaries instead of playing your music really loud.
Yeah. Apple TV Plus, the shows and movies. There's oh my gosh, there's so much great content on Apple TV Plus lately. We've been talking about this over a number of episodes. A lot of exclusive Apple originals and movies. It's all 4K HDR quality. You can watch across all the screens on your devices, wherever you picked up and left off. You can get to it from each of your devices. And it's exclusive right through the Apple TV app. And boy, it's for a $9.99 a month subscription. But of course, I have it packaged in the Apple One, so I don't even think about it. It does give you some great opportunities to watch some great content. The TV app is exclusive destination for that, but it gets a little confusing because it does blend in the purchased TV shows as well as movies from the iTunes store, whether you can buy or rent. And it also has some Amazon Prime and Disney Plus and some of the Apple TV channels. But it's hard to distinguish what's free and what isn't. I mean, generally it's not free because it's some good content. So what should you really watch on Apple TV? It goes from TV shows to movies to sports and shorts and specials, and then also there's a lot of stuff that's coming soon. I can tell you one thing right now. One show I'm really enjoying is Presumed Innocent. I don't know if anybody start watching that or not, but what an amazing show! It's really great, and actually it takes place in Chicago, and very good show. Check that out. They've come up with a number of other shows like Land of Women. That's with Eva Longoria, and it's a Spanish comedy drama, and it looks kind of an interesting show. I don't know if anybody's taken a look at that one. Trying has come back, and Big Cigar, which seems like an interesting show. The story of a Hollywood and social overhaul, Hollywood producer. And Dark Matter. Has anybody seen Dark Matter? That looks like a really good one.
Yep, it's on the list. However, it just happened to come out in the same time frame as The Boys season 3 or season 2 or season 3 or 4, I forget. But the new season, the new House of the Dragon season.
Oh yeah.
The Acolyte. Really bad timing for a great series. That I will be binging the whole thing in about a day once I actually get time to watch it.
I read the book and I liked the book. And so I know, unfortunately, how it ends or how at least the book ended. But the thing that freaked me out is my grandmother lived in Chicago and they showed a post-apocalyptic scene of my grandmother's apartment, which I will never get out of my brain.
Wow.
I'm like, I'm going to have nightmares about this for weeks. That's terrible. But I like the show and it's a good book too. Yeah. And I watched Franklin too. That's another good one.
Yeah. That was on the list. I was going to just mention.
Franklin.
I got to go. I want to finish watching that.
And
the other show I forgot about is the Big Door Prize. That's with Chris O'Dowd. I love Chris O'Dowd only because I remember IT Crowd. That was one of my. I think all of us working in the IT industry can relate to how amazing that show is. Like I go back and watch those old episodes from time to time. It's going back about 10 or 15 years now, but how great that show is. He's a great actor.
Yeah, I got reintroduced to Apple TV Plus with the Vision Pro headset. And so then I started like going through series. Big Door Prize was one of them. Manhunt, which if you haven't seen it, you need to see that show. It's great historic drama. I'm interested. And then every month we get these new things that are coming out.
Yeah.
And what's in this article, I'm kind of interested in seeing Sunny, which is looks like a thriller robot kind of combination thing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always something new that will keep me adding into my query of things I need to look at. Haven't seen Presumed Innocent yet because
highly recommend it.
I'm so connected. My head's so connected to the movie that I'm afraid it's just going to be an extended 6-7 episode of the movie.
Yeah.
But I'll take a look at it.
But yeah, go check out Apple TV Plus. We always keep talking about it on this show, and it's well worth even if you check it out. And I think they might. I don't know if they have a trial. I think you could try it for a short period.
Buy an Apple thing; they'll give you one.
Yeah. And then if
1
you
or 2 months or something like that.
If you like silly British humor, The Completely Made Up Adventures of Dick Turpin.
Oh, that's wonderfully fun.
Yeah.
It's
fun show.
There's some great stuff on there. It's worth highly recommend it.
Foundation, that's another good one.
Yeah, Foundation is great. Yeah, so check it out. We got a link here in show notes to the article that talked about all of this, and it's really great. Last thing I want to talk about here is Jill, you talk about your podcast app of choice. You like Overcast, right? I really love Pocket Casts. It's probably one of my favorite apps that I use for. I've tried them all, and I've written an article about all these podcast catchers, and I've looked at all of them over the years, and I've really just navigated right back to Pocket Cast. It's just a really robust, great app. Well, I was very excited to see that they did a complete overhaul. They do have a Mac version of Pocket Casts, and I've never seen a really good podcast app besides Apple Podcasts on the Mac. And this one, they really did some great cleaning up of the app, and I still got to see Retro Rewatch sitting right there waiting in my queue here, and it's a really clean interface. You can go right to the particular podcast you want to listen to, and then it brings right up, shows all the shows all the episodes. You can put them in folders. So like this one, I put in like all the Apple podcasts I listen to is in a folder, so I don't have to be thumbing through all of these. All this podcasts I already subscribe to, and a lot of us probably just subscribe to the podcast and just if it's there, it's something you want to listen to, you grab it. And because I can't tell you if I have 80 or so podcasts sitting in my library that I'm going to listen to half of those. So then you guys use Pocket Casts. I think it's a great app.
I might try it now. Sorry.
My podcast listening needs are so simple. It doesn't matter what app I use.
Okay.
Yeah, I've tried pretty much all of them.
Yeah,
I just keep going back to Apple Podcasts. It does what I need it to do.
All right.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat with Ben. I have such a short commute, and
5 minutes?
5 minutes. And so it's not a lot of long driving unless I'm driving back to Illinois on vacation or driving there to Macstock. Then I have opportunities to play around with different apps, but I know how to navigate Apple Podcasts, and it manages everything that I need. I'm sure I have a subscription to Pocket Casts, or I paid for it in the past.
They enhance it, give you enhancement, and sports developer, which is great.
So I'll play with it now. I mean, I'll
check it out. I really like it. So
I'm a high customizer with many playlists, and I want them to automatically update. And I tried Pocket Cast way back in version 1, so it's time to give it.
This is version 2 now, so worth going back and check it out. So before we go, I can't believe this. It is 14 days until Macstock. We are all gonna see each other. Oh, I'm sorry, Ben, but most of us will see us. Everybody will be seeing each other at Macstock here 14 days on July 12th. 13th and 14th. It's in Crystal Lake, Illinois at the Holiday Inn Convention Center, and we are going to have an absolute blast. There's I think Jeff is speaking. I'm speaking. Marty is going to be speaking. Jill is going to be speaking. Chuck Joyner is going to be there. Allison Sheridan is going to be there. I can just keep going on and on. There's just so many amazing speakers going to be there. It's a great place to network, great place to meet new people, see friends. We'll all be giving group hugs to everybody when we see each other. I mean, it's just going to be just an amazing event. And I'm really excited. I'm so glad to hear a lot of people are coming that I wasn't expecting it going to be there. And you'll get to meet Guy Cyril. He'll be there. There'll be just so many other folks that'll be there. Brett Turchbus is going to be speaking. So they're just amazing speakers. And Dave Hamilton will be speaking. And we got all kinds of Kelly Gamat's going to be there. I'm so excited she's going to be there. And I don't know if she's posted what her did she post what she's speaking about? Yeah, I don't know.
No, I'm going to go look at the MacStuff website right now.
She didn't. It isn't there yet. Did Chuck do it? That's the good question.
Chuck,
let's see,
is there now?
It is. Oh, there it is. Okay, because you and Chuck are doing a tag team. That's great.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, you guys you'll be doing great. I can't wait to see that. And I'll be talking about Apple services. I think I've got some good info on that. And Jill, you've got, what is your topic that you're going to be talking about? Organizing Bliss with Notion, right?
With Notion, yeah. But hopefully, even if you're not using Notion, you'll take away some good ideas of what to store and how to store it. And
yep. And,
I'm
Marty,
excited about that. Yeah, I'm excited about that, Jill, because I have tried Notion and have not. So I'm interested in seeing what you're doing with it, and maybe that'll inspire me to pick it up again. I'm doing a workshop on AI for 90 minutes, and it's going to be just ways in which you can improve your productivity using it. And then I'm doing a presentation called Apple Whisperer, how to deal with all the demands people place on you for tech support.
Oh, there's going to be
family. I'm so looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I've got to work up a comedy routine on that.
But you have two options available. You can you can get the weekend pass for just Saturday and Sunday if you aren't able to make it for the workshop. But I highly recommend coming to the workshops. This is a brand new thing for MacStock, having these workshops on Friday. Allison Sheridan is going to be doing workshops. Marty and I'm having a brain cramp.
Mike
is going to be
Mike.
Yeah, both the mics will be doing it too. So come out, check us out. So one good thing is because you're a viewer and listener of In Touch with iOS, you actually can get a discount. So if you once you go register, all you have to do is go to the coupon code and put in one word, In Touch with iOS, and you get $30 off of your ticket. So please use that offer code, and you will be able to see us and all kinds of our friends, meet new friends. So come out, check us out. It's going to be an absolute blast, and I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see everybody, and it's going to be here soon. I'm so excited. But with that, let's go ahead and wrap things up for this week. And just a programming note: we're going to have a little bit of delayed next week since it's the Independence Day holiday in the United States. So you'll probably have our show a little later than normal in the feed because we're going to be recording probably on Saturday. So just giving you that info ahead of time here. So that's a wrap for this week. Please send your comments, questions, and suggestions to our email address, which is feedback@intouchwithios.com. You can follow us on Mastodon at intouchwithios, at techhangout.social. Support the show. Buy me a coffee at intouchwithios.com/coffee. We would really appreciate it. You can become a patron of the show by going to patreon.com/intouchwithios. We have 2 tiers available to support the show. We would really appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you are notified when we are live streaming on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/intouchwithios. It was great to see Brian in the chat and Cletus, and Witherbucket was there. And so thanks for being in the chat this week. And we always enjoy when we have people there hanging out in the chat room here. So you also can go to In Touch with iOS magazine. It's on Flipboard, where many of the topics we discussed are flipped into that magazine. The link is in our show notes. You can subscribe to the show in your favorite podcatcher, including Pocket Casts, Overcast, Apple Podcasts, many others. But better yet, just go to our website, intouchwithios.com, where all the links to all the ways to listen to us are on that website. I am Dave Ginsburg, and you can find me on Mastodon at DaveG65 at mastodon.cloud. Jill McKinley, thank you so much for being here. We always have pleasure having you here. How can people find you?
Oh, thank you so much. It's great to be here. I have a blog called A Better Life. It starts with the letter A Better Life in smallsteps.com. All the podcasts are there. And a new blog is coming next week. That is my friend's Mature blog. You can find everything right there.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I'm going to mix it up a little bit here. Jeff Gamet, thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure having you here on the show. Where can people find you?
Well, thank you for just being so patient and tolerant and continuing to let me join in. I do appreciate that. Okay. Jay Gamet on social media. I'm active on Mastodon and Instagram and Threads. Then for shows, Chuck Joyner's Mac Voices Live on Tuesdays. Here with Dave on In Touch with iOS on Thursdays. Thursdays on the British Tech Network for the Big Show, and then on Fridays for the Mac Show. Brian Chaffin and I do The Context Machine, and Dave mentioned Retro Rewatch a minute ago. That's the new show that Patrice Brindamore and I are doing, where we watch older TV shows that I should have seen, that I haven't, that she has. So she rewatches, I watch for the first time, and then we talk about the episodes. We're doing Stargate SG-1 right now.
A lot of fun. Thank you, Jeff. Ben Roethig, thank you for being here. We always enjoy having you on the show here. And where can people find you?
Well, Dave, you can find me at Ben Roethig on the plethora of social media sites out there. You can find my writings at roethigtech.com. I have brand new brand new content up there about WWDC, and I'm going to be writing another here very quickly about the big, or should I say, ARM's coming of age on Intel. Nice. On Tuesdays, you can find me on Mac Voices Live with Mr. Chuck Joyner. On Thursday and Friday, you can find me again on the British Tech Network on the Big Hen Mac shows.
Great. Thanks for being here. And Marty Jencius, always a pleasure having you on the show as well. Thank you for being here. Where can people find you?
It's lots of fun to be here. You can get a hold of me, Jencius, Jencius, at mastodon.social. I'm going to give you one link that binds them all or brings them together, the podtalk.net, which is a website I've set up a while ago to include some of the podcasts that I was either helping other people produce, but the 3 podcasts that I'm active with right now, you can get the links from that simple, the podtalk.net. The 3 podcasts I've got going is the Vision Profiles, which I was told nobody wants to know about that product. Which just made me want to do a podcast about it. And I'm having a great time doing that. And, good response and good reaction from people. Also, the Tech Savvy Professor, which was started back in 2018 and kind of revived it in the last year. And the Circular Firing Squad, which is kind of a fun chat show.
All right. Thank you so much, Marty. And thank everybody here for listening and watching, being in the YouTube channel. And we really enjoyed doing this show, and I hope you enjoy it. And as I mentioned, we'll have a bit of a delay because of the 4th of July holiday in the United States, but we'll be back next week. We got to keep the show going, make sure we give you some great stuff about Apple. It'll be pre-Mac stock discussion because it'll be a week away. So until then, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and we'll talk again soon.